I will admit this is kind of neat, the way they you go up to see the wind dragon. Oh, cool! Whoa. The wind dragon. And unlike the mud dragon, this dragon can speak. I really love the dragon theme song. It's so nice. Nice and relaxing. Yes. Yes, we do. Although you might kill us every time, because every time you talk. Oh. We figured that out already. But thank you for confirming. You have to admit, that's really good graphics for late PlayStation 1 era. For PlayStation 1 era, period. It's just really good graphics. Those would be passable graphics on the PlayStation 2. Don't look so surprised. See, my personal timeline, because I've read conflicting things about the timeline on Breath of Fire 4 versus the other Breath of Fire games. Generally, some creators have said this, some creators have said this, fans have speculated this, fans have speculated that. Personally, I believe that it's Breath of Fire 4. The creators of the game, like, I don't know, I've heard people say the creators of the game. I've never actually read these words, but I've heard that the creators of the game have said that it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4 is in an alternate reality, and 5 is in an alternate reality. Dragon Quarter of that. So it's 1, 2, and 3 are in direct succession of each other, and then 4 is an alternate reality, and then 5 is an alternate reality. And then I've heard 1, 2, 3, and then in the far future, 4, and then 5 is in an alternate reality. And then I've heard, and my personal view on it, because of the way the game ends, there's a line at the end of the game, and the whole theme of the game fits in with it being, in my opinion, it being, by the way, Breath of Fire 5 is, Dragon Quarter is irrelevant in its position. If it's got a place, it would be, like, far, far into the future, in my opinion, because it's got all kinds of high technology in it. And I'll keep the text going so you can read it. But my personal opinion on the way the games are 4, distant past, then 1, then 2, then 1, 100 years later, 2, because they directly state somewhere, I think, I'm pretty sure somewhere they say that 2 is 100 years after the first game. And then far into the future, from 2, you have Breath of Fire 3. And then, because in Breath of Fire 3, you find an advanced civilization, so they've had to go, it's got to be far enough in the future for an advanced civilization to rise, then fall, and then civilization to rebuild itself up to a medieval level, and then a war to wipe out the dragons, and then 500 years have passed. Because if you remember, the war between the Guardians and the Brood happened 500 years before Breath of Fire 3. And then, for me personally, I don't care where Dragon Quarter falls on the timeline. It's either in the far distant future, where civilization has rised and fallen again, or it's in an alternate reality. I think they've actually come on record and said Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter is in a completely alternate reality than the other ones, and I have read that. But that's my personal view. 4, 1, 2, 3. 5 is irrelevant where it goes, in my opinion. The Yore dragon, he who thou hast named Ryu, is incomplete. He flies down, snatches up the gondola. That or he cut it and we drifted. I suppose he could have driven us there. I mean, he's got power over the wind. Get an imaginary mind joystick and go... Argh! Hamlet. You know, one of the reasons I've always loved the Breath of Fire series is that terrible things happen in them. And, you know, it seems to me that you always... growing up, a lot of my favorite RPGs, one of two things happens. Or one of a few things happens. One, the terrible thing has happened. You come and you fix it. The terrible thing is happening and you stop it. And the terrible thing is happening and you fail to stop it. And depending on the tone of the game, you know, different things will happen. The Breath of Fire series, I think, strikes a nice balance between the three. You know, and in some cases they actually add a fourth option. Like in Breath of Fire 1, for example, there's places you go, like you'll go through a town, and the terrible thing has happened. The people are suffering, but you cannot fix it yet. It's not until much later. Like, for example, the town of Romero in Breath of Fire 1. The zombies are up. You know the zombies are there, but you can't do anything about it. Until much, 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 much later in the game. Overall, I find that the Breath of Fire series balances all that out. I mean, they don't... I can think of a few games that you always constantly fail to stop the villain until the final battle with the villain, you know, until the final battle, the final dungeon. And that gets frustrating. That really gets frustrating, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a real big fan of doing the villain of plots where oh, we have to do this to stop the villain, and you end up doing the villain's work for him by unlocking the door. Or Final Fantasy IV, okay, is a real big example of that. Don't get me wrong, I like Final Fantasy IV. Definitely not my favorite Final Fantasy game. You can flame me all day you want for that. Just for the record, Final Fantasy V is my favorite. Yeah, also another game where what I'm talking about, you constantly fail to stop the bad guys. Although Final Fantasy V it gets passed because it has a job system, but Final Fantasy IV and V, what happened? Example, you get this. You have a villain, and you try to stop them, and you try to stop them, and you try to stop them, and you fail continuously. It's like, and how do people still call you a hero? Jeez. Final Fantasy V is a little better than 4, I think, because you do get small victories. You don't save the crystals, but you stop them from sinking the whole island of Waltz, for example. For the water crystal, you don't get the fire crystal, but you stop the whole continental area there around the fire crystal from exploding. You get small victories. You don't stop the grand plan, but you stop the card-carrying villainy of the area there. Okay, not only are they trying to destroy the crystals, but they're trying to kill everybody around. So that's a little better. But in Breath of Fire, the Breath of Fire series, they balance it out a little bit. And I've gone off topic, so I'll stop that. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about. I ramble on. So anyway, this seems like a good place to stop. So let's go ahead and set up camp. Talk to our party members, see what they have to say. I might check on the ferry. No, I could check on the ferries. That's a good question. Yeah, Ryu in this game is a little goofy to think of as a god, especially if you read the manga. Oh my god. Yay, more fairies. Yes. Yay, fairy was born. I'm going to have cut down trees for sure. Go ahead and start cutting down trees. Because that is literally 3/4 of my fairies gathering food. They should have no problem. Alright. Masters. Let's look over here. So anyway, we got Momo. Let me see if it will actually tell you what you need to do. Yeah, she doesn't say. Like I said, Momo is your game clock, and like I said, I don't have it written down, but it's like 60 hours for all of them, something absurd like that. Way more time than it takes to beat the game. Let's see. Alright, so exit. So I'm going to rest, save the game, and I will see you guys next time on Breath of Fire 4. Hopefully I've got enough videos to last for a while. That would be great. And hopefully I didn't screw up the recording so bad that I have to go back and do it over again. Because I did that earlier with Warcraft 3. I actually had recorded all of the Undead campaign, and my recording setup was messed up, so I had to go back and re-record everything, and I've only recorded Mission 2 and 3. So, yeah. that's gonna suck too, because the last mission in the Undead campaign is like really, really hard. It's too much for my poor attention span to take. You just get attacked on so many different fronts. I have such a hard time with it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time on Breath of Fire 4. I almost said 3.